Hello and welcome to another episode of the Federal Church Presents Better Than Bloomberg. Continuing our coverage of the 2023 global financial markets collapse. Oh, I'm sorry, not the financial markets. The financial markets will collapse soon after. But now we're still in the global financial system collapse. The banking system, primarily the depository institutions and commercial banks. The worst ever. And it honestly will be the worst financial crisis ever. But there was another good note here on Zero Hedge. It comes from, I guess, the market here. I don't know what that is, but he has it on there. Kind of gives another illustration of what's going on. The weak getting weaker. The Qs versus IWN, X11 KRE. Momentum for some stuff is amazingly poor. Kind of like how much poor everybody else is getting. And households are a huge seller of equities. Goldman forecasts households will be net sellers of $750 billion in equities in 2023. REITs, another disaster. MS Securities lending desk or Morgan Stanley Securities lending desk has seen a notable increase in shorts in the REIT space. Probably an understatement. Specialized plus 25% year to date, office 23% year to date, healthcare 15% year to date, residential 10% year to date. Playing the left side, another great vol chart via SocGen's vol guru Kumar, showing that it has been the left tail yields lower that has produced the most recent volatility in rates land. It says systemic risks to growth coming to the forefront. It's the left tail volatility that has exploded. It is not systemic. It's dipshits within the system. The real dots. Cost to trade U.S. 2-year Treasury futures have exploded, reaching 3 to 4 times the cost of pre-banking crisis. Again, they're not really cash equivalents anymore, are they? Fluid deposits and risk to credit. Main bullets via JPMC's Nikos. U.S. banks lost $1 trillion. It's with a T. See if we can bring up that again. $1 trillion looks like. Due to the Fed's tightening cycle, with half going to money market funds and half to larger safe banks. Which again, in and itself, that whole idea of doing that is still kind of absurd. I don't think they understand what money market funds do, or why they're in the situation they're in with the dipshit trade. And the larger, safer banks will be imploding when the derivatives implode. We already saw but one small example of that, by the way. Even if it is in the regulatory sense, where regulators thought they would pull some shenanigans with the AT1 trans in Europe. And again, if bail-in central over there, Europe, is already screwing around with the subordination order of debt tranches. I mean, well, here in America, where they haven't been used to bailouts yet, you can probably expect a shit show there too. The deposit shift was driven by the Fed's rate hikes in QT, as well as the fact that many U.S. bank deposits are uninsured. A similar shift is less likely in Europe due to the structure of the money market fund industry and faster transmission of ECB rate hikes. Not if they're affected by the U.S. toiletries. Again, this is what I mean. I think people don't still have a grasp of the situation they're in.
Does someone special have a birthday coming up? There's nothing quite like getting a card.
Deposit movements could cause banks to be cautious on lending, with mid and small-sized banks playing a large role in U.S. lending. The greatest credit creation vulnerabilities lie in non-mortgage bank lending to households and mortgage bank lending for non-financial, non-corporate businesses. And non-financial corporate businesses may use debt capital markets to offset potential fees. Again, there's two glaring things that should be obvious to people there, but for some reason doesn't. If the banks are insolvent, they're not going to be doing that. And if the banks don't exist, they're not going to be doing that. Achtung Deutsche Bank. Let's see how contained the European banking situation really is. Deutsche Bank faded the mini bounce in no time. And again, these are already banks that have had problems in the past. Will the dipshit trade affect them? Probably. Even if they had it hedged, somebody else will be paying the insurance on that. But the point being, the media focuses on things that it shouldn't really be focusing on. Namely saying, oh look, Credit Suisse Credit Suisse is going under, now Credit Suisse got bailed out. Okay, yeah, fine. Now what about all the other banks that are insolvent? Because they did the dipshit trade. That's what really matters in this instance. And where are you going to park your money? Self-explanatory chart. Money market fund yields versus U.S. bank deposit rates. Which again, in terms of risk, in terms of solvency, doesn't really change anything. A meaningful buying opportunity in XLA. Goldman Sachs, the recent sell-off represents a 7 pullback since late 2020 and each translated into a meaningful buying opportunity. Take a look at all these shenanigans over the years. That's a couple years, I mean. And the real dots. Again, your cost to trade, 2-year U.S. Treasury toiletry futures have exploded 3 to 4 times about pre-banking crisis. Not cash equivalents now. Fluid deposits and risk to credit. So this is just repeating for some reason. But non-financial net debt in the U.S. has doubled in 10 years. It's the brokest country in the history of the world. While everybody in it lives on credit. Most of the people have a negative net worth. None of them have anything in the bank. So I'm pretty sure a lot of the people, shouldn't be watching this either because these videos aren't geared towards them. Pretty sure they don't give a shit about deposits, being not covered up to $250,000. They don't have any deposits. So currently, the non-financials in our U.S. 500 stock list have issued $5.6 trillion of gross debt, holding $28 trillion of cash, which nets to $3.7 trillion. But U.S. corporates have used easy monetary to protect themselves. No, they did stock buybacks and other shenanigans. But again, people will only care once their jobs are gone, their pensions are gone. That's when we care. Oh, and again, before you lose all your money, make sure to donate, because that's why you're in this mess. You didn't make your donations, and you didn't pay your tithe. Right there in the Bitcoin wallet in the description.